Let me know where you're joining in from as you connect. Good afternoon from over here. Currently streaming this video from my home country, Nigeria, and this is by my time now it is 2:13, and just oh hello, welcome. I'm super excited to have you guys join me here today. As you connect, kindly let me know where you're tuning in from, what state, what country. If you're a resident in Nigeria, let me know. Are you streaming from Abuja, from Lagos, from Port Harcourt? Let me know in the chat window below. All right, I see you. I see you. Welcome on board. Welcome, guys. Yeah, welcome. So today we're just going to have like, basically chit chat. Would I call it a chit chat about personal branding? Yeah, if you've been in my community for a while now, you'll notice it's something I'm quite passionate about talking about, right? Personal branding, social media marketing, content creation, basically how to project an authentic personal brand out there online, right? Yeah. Welcome. Oh, great. Oh, nice to have you join us here. I don't intend this session to be a long one. Yeah, I'm going to make it as quick as possible because I'll be heading out for a meeting in any moment from now. But in the meantime, we could spend the next few minutes talking about how to build an authentic personal brand out there, how to project an authentic personal brand online, because I believe authenticity is key, especially in this day and age where you have a lot of fakes out there, a lot of people on social media that they don't even know what they're doing there, right? People just go on social media and they just make any kind of post. There is no strategy behind those posts. It's not well thought out. It's not original. Some people just see what other people put out there online and they just decide that, oh, okay, this person is posting this thing, right? And it's helping them go viral, right? So I mean, if I also post the same thing, it should help me go viral. Now, I'm not against the we call it the principle of modeling, right? I'm not against modeling after other people. I'm not against modeling after other brands. But all I'm just trying to say is that while you're trying to model after people, you have to be careful enough not to lose your originality. You're welcome. Let me know where you're watching from. Just let me know in the comment section, the chat window. We're going to be talking about how to build an authentic personal brand on social media. And this is something that is very dear to my heart because I have like a lot of DMs, people asking me, oh, Fortune, how do I build my personal brand online? How do I show up consistently? How do I build a brand that people can emotionally resonate and connect to, right? So basically, we're going to be spending the next few minutes talking about that. All right. So I was saying, where was I? Okay, so I was saying I'm not against the principle of modeling, right? Seeing other people on social media do what they do out there, putting out the content that they put out there, right? It's good. But all I'm trying to say is in the attempt to model after particular people who are in quote successful on social media, try as much as possible not to lose your originality because one thing that makes personal brands stand out is originality. In fact, you cannot take out the word authenticity from personal branding, right? You can't take out. I often tell my students that everyone is taken, right? Everyone is taken, but you're the only one that is the original version of yourself. So no other person can be you, even in 1,000 years come. There will only be one fortune will be that is me, right? Even if there should be another fortune will be right, that bears my name. This one that is here now can only there's only one, so nobody can replace you. You are you, and you are unique, right? So, in as much as you're trying to model after other brands, you want to, as much as possible, try to be authentic. For those of you just joining us, kindly let us know where you're watching from. In the chat window below, let me know the country, let me know the state you're watching from. I'm streaming this video right now from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and I'm super excited to have you join me on this live. So we're going to be talking about how to build an authentic personal brand on social media, how to show up your real self on social media and building a community around that, basically, right? So for those of you just joining, I was just telling others that on social media, one of the things that I see that's a pattern is people, I wouldn't call it, okay, modeling and copying other people, right? So you see other people putting out a particular kind of content and you feel like, oh, this content is actually good, especially for content creators. So, this content is going viral. So if this creator posted this content and it went viral, if I also replicate this type of content, I will go viral as well. But now that's not entirely bad. But where it is a problem is if this pattern is not consistent with your core values as a personal brand. And that's where the principle of core values actually come in, right? Welcome, Chimereucheya. Oh, Chimereucheya, I think I remember you from Sunday, right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chimereucheya, where are you watching this from? Where are you watching this from? Right. So I was saying, so you're trying to like see other creators out there posting content, and you're like, oh, this content is actually helping them go viral, but is it consistent with your values? For example, there are some kind of trends. If you understand Kaduna, okay, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you connect from Kaduna. All right. So if you really understand the place of value, right, or your core values as a personal brand, there are certain kind of trends that you will not jump on. Yes, it's not every trend, no matter how tempting they are, that you have to jump on. So if this trend is actually a trend that has to do with certain kind of dances, and for example, it's not consistent with your belief, it's not consistent with your faith. For those of us who are in like certain faith communities, right? So you don't have to jump on that trend and you will not die. You're not, nothing will happen to you. If you didn't join the trend, in quotes, if you didn't join the trend, you're not going to die. Right? So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing on social media is strategy driven, right? There are so many aspects of your life out there, right? People see your passion, see your hobbies, and they see everything that you do on a daily basis. But is it everything that you actually have to put on social media? I was saying recently that human beings naturally are multidimensional, right? So you can see you're a father, you're a brother, you're a community leader, you're a pastor, you're a businessman. It is still one person, right? But when it comes to social media, because attention on social media is fickle, right? You want to, as much as possible, try to be strategic with what you put out there. Now, being strategic does not necessarily mean that you have to stick to just one thing, right? Being strategic with your posts on social media does not necessarily mean that it has to be one thing that you're doing or you're being known for, right? So even if you like have multiple skill sets, you have multiple passions, one of the things that you want to be intentional about is by building an overarching team that links everything together and you're known for that team. So that team now is like the connector between your multiple passions or your skills, right? So how do you build an intentional and authentic brand on social media? First of all, you have to know who you are, right? I tell people that if you don't know who you are, you cannot grow you. If you don't know you, you can't grow you. So, in order to grow you, you have to know you on a deep level, right? Now, one of the things I normally encourage people to do is before, while you start up building your personal brand online, you want to, as much as possible, try to understand or see yourself through the lenses of other people's eyes, because I tell people that a brand is not necessarily something, forgive me for using the word build, right, because it's already there, it's existing. A brand is something that you influence, right? You try to influence perspectives. So what you're doing in branding is basically perception marketing. You want to make sure that the perception you have of yourself or the perception that you want to communicate out there in the marketplace is the same perception that your target audience or people out there have um, about you, right? So it's all about perception marketing, narrative control, so to speak. So I tell people when you want to start building your personal brand or pushing this out there, one of the things that you want to be intentional about doing is understanding or seeing yourself through the lenses of other people's eyes. Because when you see yourself through the lenses of other people's eyes, it helps you to know the areas of your life that you have to work on, right? So one of the exercises I normally do and encourage other people to do is look at your circle, right? You look at your friends, your family, your loved ones. You want to have like a questionnaire actually, like type out the questions, right? And send out, give them, let them feel it, and they will tell you, you'll be surprised. It will amaze you. Happen to be in a situation whereby people are telling you that, oh, Grace, you're so good at this, you're so good at this, and you're like, you didn't necessarily see yourself as someone who was good at that thing they're talking about. But the thing is that other people see you in a different light, right? There are certain things about yourself that you wouldn't even notice on a normal day unless somebody else calls your attention to it, right? So if people call your attention, and especially if you have more than one person talking about the same thing over and over again, one of the things you have to learn how to do is to be able to take criticism as feedback, right? You don't take it as you're being judged. So don't take criticism as judgment, right? No matter how it is, just take it as feedback. And feedback is relative. So however they see you is relative. So you want to take it and see what are these commonalities that people actually have observed in me, that are strengths? What are these commonalities that I see that people have actually observed that are weaknesses as well? Okay, can I go back to the drawing board and look at these areas that they've actually talked about and actually do something about them, right? So you want to look at those things. So they tell you that, okay, you're good at speaking. You're like, am I really good at speaking? But it draws your attention to something. And then the moment they call your attention to it, you now start noticing that thing in your life, and it gives you um um an opportunity for you to actually hone that skill more, or that aspect of your life. So if people are saying, oh, you're a good speaker, you're a good speaker, I'm like, okay, I can actually make something out of this speaking after all. So what are the things I'm interested in? What are the things I care about? Right? I can use this speaking skills, right, as a tool to get my message out there. Because I tell people that there is nobody, absolutely nobody, that is born with nothing, right? The moment you were born on this earth, God actually deposited something inside of you that is unique. You have something of great value that the world needs. So don't ever feel like you're worthless, or you feel like other people are achieving a lot of things out there and you don't have anything to offer. No, that is a blatant lie from the devil, right? So you have a lot to offer. You have a lot to offer the world. So take the survey and the research, take it as feedback, and actually go back and connect the dots and see how you can make something out of it. So if they say, for example, oh, you're good at public speaking, and you now sample several other opinions and they said the same thing, two things that you need to do. Number one, don't just say, okay, because they said I'm good at public speaking, I'm not going to work on it. I'll just keep on speaking, right? That's going to be foolish, for lack of a better word, right? So you want to take that and go back and further hone that skill. It means it is one of your selling points. So you want to go back and literally dwell, brood over that skill, harness it, sharpen that skill as much as possible. So you sharpen your public speaking skills to a point whereby you don't even talk for up to a minute and people are already sucked in or drawn into your personality. They already love you for that, right? So you see it as an advantage. So having worked on the public speaking skills, the next thing you want to do is to look inward. What are the things I'm quite passionate about? What are the things I love to talk about? And it's not just loving to talk about something. Now there are two things. There are people who are passionate about certain things that they don't necessarily have an experience in, right? This is not what we're talking about. But that you're passionate about something, even if you don't have the experience in it, it is also a starting point. It means you can go back and actually develop the skills in that area. But when I say look at your life and look at the things that you're passionate about, I mean look at your life and see the things that you're not just passionate about, but you are experienced in, right? And you can talk about it comfortably. Like if you are given a global stage to talk about this thing, you can go for hours without getting tired. You can go for hours without running out of content ideas around that thing, right? So you go back, look at those things that you're passionate about. They already told you, number one, we came from a point where we said, because we are giving a hypothetical example now. We came from a point where we said that, okay, people have noticed that you're good at public speaking. Don't just take it hook, line, and sinker, right? Go back and further hone that public speaking skills. So once you hone the public speaking skills, the next thing you want to do is to look at the areas of your life that you feel like there are things that you're passionate about and you can talk about and you have experience in. Because one of the things I've realized is that over the years, as you go through your journey in life, you're going to encounter setbacks, hurdles, challenges. You're going to win, accomplish certain things, right? So, one of the things I tell people a lot is to document their journey. So when you document your journey, it makes it a lot easier for you to pull out a lot of things to talk about. And don't take for granted that those experiences are useless or they are worthless. No, they're not. There are 1,000, 1,000,001 people who will gain value from you just basically talking about your experiences. I mean, that's personal branding we're talking about after all. It's personal. So it's something that people look at. Oh, it's your story, and your story can be somebody else's um stepping stone, right? Your story can be somebody else's platform to ride on, to rise in life. That they look at themselves through the lenses of your eyes, or they look at themselves through the lenses of your eyes. So they see, okay, you went through these experiences and you actually came out strong. That means I am not alone in this. I can actually go through this and succeed because I have seen Mr. A succeeding at doing this same thing. And that's one of the ways you're going to build a community. But now that aside, um, so bringing me back to where I was before I digress, because I love digressing a lot. So we're talking about how to, if you're just connecting right now, we're talking about how to build um an authentic personal brand online. And pardon my use of the word build because you're not necessarily building your personal brand. Your personal brand already exists. So what you're doing basically is you're enhancing or you're fine-tuning your personal brand. Let's put it that way, yes. You're fine-tuning your personal brand to be to make sure that whatever you want to communicate aligns with what the people are actually getting out there about your personal brand, right? So now you're clear on on what you're passionate about, you're clear on what you're good at, and you're clear on the things that you have that you can use to your advantage. The next thing you want to do is to come up with your core values, which I talked about briefly at the beginning, but now I'll just dwell on this a little bit more. So for example, how do you come up with your core values? Look at yourself. Look at the things that you hold to high esteem. Look at the things that are non-negotiables for you, right? All these things are going to be inklings to your core values, right? So for example, if you came out from a Christian background, I'm just going to use this as a hypothetical example. You came out from a Christian background and you guys, you are brought into a family where praying was a natural thing to do, right? And praying in community was a natural thing for you guys to do. One of the things that you're going to value is prayer, right? You're going to, there's just something that's going to emotionally connect you to prayer because you were brought up in that same manner. And if you came from a family where you don't talk back to your parents, you don't talk back to your elder ones, right? You let them finish speaking. You don't raise your voices against to your seniors, right? When you grow up, you find out that you will naturally expect the same of other people because you have been hardwired to see life through those lenses. So you now see respect as something that is sacred, right? Something that is holy, in quote. So if you're going to be talking about your core values, one of the things that is going to be there is respect, right? You believe in reciprocity of respect, right? So look deep within you. What are those things that are non-negotiables for you? What are those things you hold to high esteem? What are those things that you look at and you feel like these things are my driving forces, these things are things that propel me, right? So you want to build your core values around that. And when you build your core values, the next thing you want to do is to make sure that whatever you're doing is centered around those core values. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing does not negate those core values, does not go against those core values, because you want to build a personal brand. So, having done that, the next thing you want to do is to come up with a content strategy. Now you know what you're good at, what you're passionate about, your skills, and all that stuff. The next thing now you want to look at is how to put this out there, right? So you look at your core, who you are. You look at your brand, your personal brand. The next thing you want to do is how to market this out there, and marketing has to do with your how, your strategy, right? So how are you going to be getting your content out there? Are you going to be getting your content out there through videos? Like this is video, right? Are you going to be getting your content out there through text-based posts? But I know this will work a lot for introverts. Not a lot of introverts love to be behind the camera, but it's something that you can actually learn how to do, right? So you want to go back and look at the ways that you can market that thing or put out what you have to give to your world, right? So, are you going to be doing podcasts? Are you going to be doing weekly live sessions? So, these are things you have to be strategic about. So, you don't just go on social media and because you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook, you just post. Today, you take a nice picture and you post. It's good. But what is the strategy behind that? Okay, so in my local church, I had a team, a social media team, or the social media team in my local church here in Nigeria. And one of the things I normally tell them is you want to post content on social media, right? And you want the content to do something for you. The question I ask them is that what is the aim behind this content? Because it's not just to be putting out content. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can put out content online, right? But there has to be a big why behind those content. There have to be trackable KPIs that you can look at and say that, okay, this is the reason for this content. So if I'm posting this content online, this is what I want it to achieve for me. Am I looking to get engagement, the vanity metrics and all that? Am I looking to get likes, comments, shares? Am I looking to get more email signups? Am I looking to get DMs? So you have to be strategic about your content creation journey. So when you want to put out content as a personal brand, you don't just put out random content. Every single piece of content is more like an avenue for you to introduce people to the brand called you. It's more like you going out on a date with your audience online and letting them know that, hey guys, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is what I love to do, right? This is how I can add value to your life, right? Because at the end of the day, if you can't add value to their life, why should they even follow you in the first place? Human beings are hardwired selfish. Sorry to say, spoilers, they are hardwired selfish. If people don't see anything they can get from you and it's not necessarily money, they are not going to be connected to you. So they have to like perceive some kind of value in you or in building a relationship with you, so to speak. So you want to be crystal clear about that when you want to start putting pushing your personal brand out there. All right. So guys, if you have any questions, if you're just connecting right now, my name is Fortune Wobidi, and I am a catalyst to help 1 million people. My vision or my mission, so to speak, is to help 1 million people become the best version of themselves. And personal branding is my tool, as is every other thing I do, right? So personal branding is one of my tools I use to, or I aim to use in achieving that. So you can help me actually achieve that by subscribing to my channel, turning on the post notification when you see this video, and feel free to share this with somebody. You never know who you will be reaching out to by just doing that. Okay, because I promise that this is not going to be a long live session. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to make another video where I will take my time to talk about how you can brand on social media. But if you're just joining for the first time, if you go through my feed on my YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot of videos I've made about personal branding, social media marketing, content marketing, basically how you can put your personal brand out there. Especially if you're a multi-potentialite or you're a creative, you're going to find a lot of videos that you will find useful. So feel free to check it out. And don't forget to connect with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and on X at Fortune Wobidi. Thank you so much. I was so excited here having this session with you guys. Looking forward to your questions. You can feel free to ask in the chat, the comment section, or you can send it to my DM on Instagram at Fortune Wobidi. Thank you so much. Do have an amazing day, guys. Bye.